Now that the mayor has joined us, welcome to this public forum for Reaching the Summit Community Service Initiative. And we'll get started off this evening, and we're going to let Mr. Dave Copson talk to you about the Boy Scouts and the Summit property located in Fayette County, West Virginia. Dave Copson, a.k.a. Doug Cosper.
Thank you all for being here tonight, giving me a chance to talk to you about the Summit and the Boy Scouts of America and what we're doing here in Southern West Virginia. If you can't hear me, yell and I'll yell back. What we had is a presentation that, I'm the assistant manager of programs for the Summit. I came to the Summit from Philmont Scout Ranch, which is the Boy Scouts' largest property, where I was an associate director of the program for the last 5 years. And so I came here to West Virginia in April and have been loving it. And what we're going to talk about tonight, this presentation is basically the story so far with the Summit. And where it starts is at Fort A.P. Hill. All the jamborees for our 100-year history have been in various locations. From 1981 to 2010, the Boy Scouts of America held their jamborees at Fort A.P. Hill, which is a military base in Virginia. Now, so basically every jamboree that we've ever had has been a really huge town we set up and took down over the course of about 2 months. In 2005, with the growing training needs for the military because of their growing missions across the globe, there's a brief moment in 2005, well, in preparation for 2005, when the military considered not allowing us to use Fort A.P. Hill. Eventually everything got worked out. We had a great jamboree at Fort A.P. Hill in 2005 and 2010. But that hiccup made us realize that we needed to be better prepared. Being prepared is something the Boy Scouts try to do. It's our motto. So we thought we ought to do a better job of that. So that was the seed for what became the site search for a permanent home for the National Scout Jamboree. What really allowed this to happen was a donation of $50 million by Stephen Bechtel and the Stephen Bechtel Jr. Foundation. Mr. Bechtel owns a very large construction company, and what I always like to point out was that when Mr. Bechtel donated his $50 million, we had not selected the Summit site. He donated $50 million to the concept of a permanent home for the National Jamboree. He didn't know which site we were going to choose, but he believed in what we were trying to do with this whole process, and I think that's very special, someone willing to give that much for an idea at that point. And we began the site search that eventually led us to the Summit here in Southern West Virginia. We received 80 submissions from 28 different states. That's a lot of states vying for this opportunity. We had states represented in almost every time zone. Hawaii thought they would sit this one out, but Hawaii and Alaska. But in the continental U.S., we got submissions from every region of the country. Things that were important to us in looking for a site. There's 4 I'll talk about here. There's a lot of little ones, but 4 big ones was proximity to our scouting population, the U.S. population. We wanted good road access, good 4-lane highway access. We'll talk about the numbers, but when the Jamboree happens, it's a lot of people coming in a real short window. Arrival day, departure day, huge amounts of traffic. We wanted to be in an area that would be able to handle that. And next, we wanted to come to an area that was already known for its outdoor recreational opportunities, an area that scouts were already used to coming to. That was very important to us. Lastly, we wanted to make sure we were coming to an area where we had the support of the state government, and not just the state government and the governors, but we wanted to make sure that we were coming into a community that was going to be excited about working with us and happy to have this opportunity to do it. So With locations regarding being close to a population, West Virginia is pretty much, pretty far over in the eastern part of the state country geographically, but as far as population density goes, it's very close to a lot of large population centers. It's within 500 miles or 10 hours of 66% of the U.S. population and 33% of the Canadian population. It touches, Chicago, Detroit, New York, Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Atlanta, all those huge population areas. So 10 hours is an important time frame for our scouts within the BSA. The rule is that a scouting group cannot drive more than 10 hours in one day. So we're within roughly 66%, one day's drive of roughly 66% of our scouts. We think that's very important. Road access, you guys know this area. You've got Highway 19 coming down right here. There's the site, back to the summit. And then Interstate 77, 64. So good road access. Outdoor recreational opportunities. Right here, we're bordered on three sides by the New River Gorge National River Area. In addition to the New River Gorge with its whitewater rafting and rock climbing, you've got all sorts of adventure resorts around the area. When you talk to these companies, you realize that scouts have been coming to this area for a long time. I've talked to many scouters and scouts who said, that's a perfect spot. You guys, I knew years ago you guys should have taken a look at something in that area. So, it's an area that's well known to our customers and familiar and has a very good reputation. So we're very excited about that as well. At the time, Governor Joe Manchin was very involved in this process. He personally flew down to Irving, Texas, and he told our leadership at our national headquarters that the state of West Virginia and the Boy Scouts of America go together like peas and carrots. So we had great support from him. It's continued through the next administration at all levels of the government, and the local communities have been wonderful to us, opening their arms to us. As far as the business that we're starting up here and just moving into the area and becoming residents of West Virginia. Here you see Joe with our volunteer president, national president of the Boy Scouts of America, Rex Tillerson. He has a side job, takes up a little of his time. He is the CEO of ExxonMobil, so just a little mom and pop operation there. This is a map of the site. The total site is 10,600 acres. What you see on this map here is kind of a 10-year development plan. People are always asking me, are you actually going to be done by 2013? And no, we're not going to be done by 2013. We're going to be ready for 2013. We'll be ready to have a jamboree, ready to have a great time, and we'll have all the things that kids need to have a great time in 2013, but we're going to have even more stuff in 2017. In 2019, we're going to have even more development being done. And 2021 is what we're targeting as the end of kind of the first wave of development on the site, first major wave, if that makes sense. So right now, development and construction is being concentrated in this area here. It's about a 1,300 acre plot that we're calling the Jamboree Footprint, getting ready for these kids to line up and march in our doors on July 15th, 2013. Here's a map of that footprint, and I'm going to kind of take you on a whirlwind tour, so buckle your seatbelts. What you have here in this area is the living area, the villages that the scouts are going to be in. Okay, this is where the tents will be, where they'll sleep every night, shower houses, and where they'll eat their breakfast and dinner. So, here, kind of below the lakes and kind of next to it, we have our adventure base camps. Like I said, in the past, everything we built had to be built and taken down in 2 months. That didn't allow for the best, highest level of program activity that a kid could hope for. Now that we own the site, we're building world-class permanent facilities that are going to be the leading edge in these areas. Right here you have Mayhem Mountain. That is going to be home to the Extreme Sports Base Camp, which will include BMX biking, skateboarding, mountain boarding, a lot of cool stuff. That area is designed by a company called Spawn Ranch. They have designed and built all the X Game facilities for ESPN for the last 17 years, which is kind of the highlight of the extreme sports season. So that gives you an idea of the top level people on this project. Right here you have our shooting sports facilities, archery, and the firearms will be here. At Fort A.P. Hill, it was a military base. They didn't like a lot of guns going off there for some reason. So we could only have short-range firearms, which were black powder rifles and shotguns. Here, at this facility that we own, we'll have all those things. We'll have high-powered rifles, 30-06s. We'll have pistol shooting for the older kids. It's going to be world-class. This area here is Adventure Valley. Adventure Valley has a lot of cool stuff. It kind of has the coolest things that you would find at a regular summer camp, kind of amped up and pushed to their limits. We'll have 37 miles of mountain biking trail. We'll have one of a very large rock climbing facility that'll utilize both natural rock and we're creating rock walls that'll be made to look like natural rock to get all the kids we want climbing and rappelling and doing all those cool things. We'll have our challenge course areas and two of our big zip lines that's being built by Gravity Logic, which is a company that's built canopy tours and zip lines in the area. This zip line right here, we call it Zipzilla, and it's going to be the largest one they've ever built. Over 3,000 feet, and very cool. Up here is the canopy tour base camp, also built and designed by Gravity Logic, their largest canopy tour facility that they've ever had. These areas during the Jamboree will be only open to the Jamboree participants that pay their fees for that week and come in and do lots of cool stuff. But these are permanent facilities. We're going to be utilizing them for summer programming when we don't have the Jamboree, and we're also going to be finding ways to get the general public into the site and utilizing those areas once we get construction further down the road. But during the Jamboree, it'll only be those Jamboree participants in those areas. This area here, in the summer, the center of the summit is, funny enough, called the Summit Center. This area will be open to the general public during the Jamboree. There'll be a day fee, and anyone, whether they're a scout or not a scout, can come in and participate in any of the activities that are going on in here. What will happen here, there'll be a nice conservation nature trail, lots of exhibits and displays from various vendors and organizations. We'll have our largest retail operation in this area. We'll have our scouting museum and exhibits will be in the area. The arena, the Jamboree, two kind of signature events of the Jamboree are our arena shows. There'll be a Tuesday morning opening show for the scouts, and then on Sunday we have what we call the big show. That'll be open to the scouts as well as all the day visitors for that day. This arena that we built is being built to hold 80,000 people. So, but the really cool element, I think, of the Summit Center is what is Action Point right here. What Action Point is, on Action Point, there's going to be smaller preview versions of all the activities I was talking about in the base camp area. So even if you're just coming for the day, you can get a taste of what the kids in the Jamboree are doing. For example, we'll have a small canopy tour area here mixed in with some mountain bike trails. We'll have a rock climbing wall. We'll have BMX skateboard areas and all sorts of cool stuff. We'll even have two smaller zip lines going right over the arena area. So that really is going to give people, even if they're just there for a day, an idea of what we're offering our kids. This is an aerial view of the site. Kind of orient you. This is from the east looking west. Highway 19 is over here. That's the water tower in Oak Hill. This right here was the Action Point area I was describing in the arena. These are the living villages here. This right here, Village F, is where the staff is going to be living. This is kind of a view from the opposite side. There's that staff area, action point, the arena, living area. These tiny little specks are humongous trucks with tires taller than me. So we're quite a large area. One of the most important things about the site as we develop it and manage it is its sustainability and use of green practices and technologies. There's not a lot of flat space here in West Virginia. You guys probably know that better than anybody. But when you're camping, it's kind of nice to have a flat spot to put your tent up on so you don't wind up outside your tent in the morning. So a lot of work the last couple months since October has been in flattening the hills and clearing them. I had to obviously cut down a lot of trees. We cut those trees down and we had them milled, and those trees are being used to build our shower houses. 350 shower houses are being built for the Jamboree. Very high tech. The shower water, the gray shower water is used to flush the toilets, very efficient. The highest technology in bathrooms and shower houses you could ever find, in the hopes that during the 10 days of the Jamboree, the Scouts might take one shower. So we're very excited about that. One important difference that this site allows us to do is it's going to allow us to make the Jamboree cheaper. How that happens, the Jamboree fee consists of two parts. The fee that comes to us, which for 2013 is $850 that comes to the Jamboree Department, the National Organization of Boy Scouts of America. The other portion of the Jamboree fee is the transportation and equipment costs for each council. The local council, obviously coming from California is going to be a lot cheaper than coming from Virginia. So that the fees differ. But now that we own the site, in the past we didn't own the site, which meant all the troops coming had to bring their own tents, their own picnic tables, their own shelters, their own everything. A lot of councils, a troop is made up of 40 people, 36 kids, 4 adults. A lot of councils would send 5 to 6 troops, which meant to get all the people and the equipment, they would sometimes have to rent semis to get all their equipment out to the Jamboree. That's going to take the cost way up here. Now that we own the site, we can bring this equipment in ahead of time. We are providing all the troop equipment. When a kid comes to the Jamboree, all they have to do is bring their own personal clothes, their mess kit, water bottles, and a day pack. The tents, cots, picnic tables, shelters, stoves, all that stuff is going to be provided to them, which eliminates pretty much completely the equipment portion of the council's Jamboree fee. What we're finding is by us raising our price $50 to get all this equipment, councils are able to lower their costs from anywhere from $150 to $300. So the 2013 Jamboree is going to be cheaper than 2010, and I think that's really cool that we're able to do that. A lot of people ask about jobs. Right now, the Boy Scouts of America directly employ 10 people out of the Crossroads Mall office. The Boy Scouts of America, has hired a company called Trinity Works. It was a large-scale site developer out of Texas to construct this site. It's in our contract that Trinity hire 80% West Virginians in their subcontracting and employment processes. The biggest contract we have is Canastone, if you're familiar. But the company that designed and built these shower houses are actually in the blue field. So we think that's an excellent way to handle things. The other 20% of people hired is largely made up of those action sports consultants that are building our activity areas, the companies that just aren't in West Virginia. They're working 2 10-hour shifts a day when the weather permits. This schedule is very tight. We're going to be able to make it. It's not going to be a problem, but it's very tight. Another great thing for those of you who like the roads is that we found all the rock and gravel we'll ever need on the site, which prevented about 26,000 truckloads of 300,000 tons of stone on the local roadways. So I think that's pretty cool. Again, more troop equipment. campsites, some signage. Again, we brought, in January, they had a design conference that brought these professionals, brought our volunteers. It had former Disney employees that helped build their Orlando facilities. Just the best in the business, trying to make this everything it can be for our scouts and future scouting. This past summer, we had basically the first event where we brought kids to West Virginia in the name of the summit. They stayed out at the Glen Jane Armory and built 13 miles of a stacked loop mountain bike trail in the in the New River Gorge National River area. We think they didn't do anything. They spent about 1 hour on the site on the tour. The rest of their time was spent building this trail, and we're real proud that the first time we brought scouts into West Virginia, we were able to do a project for the public. These trails are already open, people are enjoying them. They stop me on the road sometimes if they see I got a Boy Scout symbol on my shirt saying what a great trail it is. So we're very excited about that. Funding for the project, nothing starts construction until it's funded. The zip lines, they didn't start construction on those until we had funding secured. Very important. From what we can tell, the research we've done, this is the largest project ever done completely on donated funds anywhere in the world. So it's a pretty big deal. We're up to, at this point, $250 million of the $400 million needed for phase 1 and 2. A lot of that is thanks to a recent donation by Jim Justice of $25 million. So we're well on our way. But the reason we're here tonight is to talk about service. Service projects, service work is something that has always been important to the Boy Scouts of America. When a kid does his rank advancement from tenderfoot, the first badge you earn when you get into the Boy Scout area, to Eagle Scout, which is the highest honor as the Boy Scouts. Required in that is all sorts of service projects, service work. For Eagle, the kid has to design, manage, and organize the project. So this is something that's in our blood. It's never been something with the location we've been at Fort A.P. Hill and logistical issues. It's never been something we've been able to do at a jamboree. So we're very excited about being able to bring this hugely important part of scouting into our biggest and most signature event. So we're very excited about this process, but we need your help. We're going to bring 40,000 scouts out here, and we're going to transport them to sites. They're going to be very excited. But the one thing we can't do is find the projects that are going to be meaningful to your communities. You guys, we need you guys to tell us what work these scouts can do that'll make a difference to you and where you live. Like I said earlier, I just came from New Mexico. New to the area. You guys know what's going on. You guys know what you need, what dreams your communities have that we can be a part of making happen. The Boy Scouts of America will have final say on all the projects that are done over this period of time for these 5 days. But if we say no, it's only going to be because we cannot logistically support it. We can't get the kids there. It involves too many activities that are against our policies, procedures. We're not going to look at your list of projects and say, let's not do that one because we don't think it's important. You guys are going to tell us what's important, and we're going to do our best to help you out and get kids out to make a difference for you guys. So that's what we're here for tonight. I want to thank the CCC in this process. When I got here, this whole project was what was waking my boss up at night in cold sweats, how we were going to make this happen after we made the promise. And the CCC stepped forward and look at how many people they have here tonight, and that's just a small example of the effort, dedication they've put to this project, and we're truly proud to be working with them as they are helping us to make contacts with the communities and doing the work that gets the community organized to help you guys move forward in this process. So a couple other points I want to make. We hope, our plan is to do this for every Jamboree. The National Scout Jamboree happens every 4 years. So we'll have a National Scout Jamboree 2013, 2017, and 2021. But we will also be hosting the entire world of scouting in 2019. The United States, Canada, and Mexico have put together a proposal to host the World Jamboree at the summit. It was approved unanimously. So in 2019, scouts and scouters from all over the world, various scouting organizations worldwide will be coming for a Jamboree-sized event. It'll be about the same amount of people, 40,000 staff participants, and about 7,000 to 8,000 staff. So there's a lot of work coming, and this is the first time we've done it on this scale, and we hope to, I think we've got a plan that we're putting in place and figuring out that's going to allow us to be effective going into the future past 2013. One important note, World Scouting is about almost 65–70% female. The Boy Scouts of America, we've had for many years a high school age program called Venturing, which is open to males and females. The 2013 Jamboree will be the first Jamboree that is open for venturers to register as participants. So in 2013, a female venturer can register and do all the same activities, have all the same fun that a male Boy Scout will be able to have. So we think that's very cool and important to point out. Information, if you want to learn more about the summit, obviously come talk to me, ask questions tonight. But we have various websites. The one place to start, kind of the center for our activity on the net is summit.scouting.org. And I've got cards that have all of our web addresses here with me. July 15th through 24th, 2013. You may think that's a long ways away, but this project that we're embarking on with community service is a large one. And the way you get these projects done is by starting early, planning, crossing stuff off the list, step by step, and you can do great things. So lastly, I'll show a little video about the summit, and thanks so much.
The summit sits on more than 10,000 acres in one of the greatest outdoor playgrounds in the world. It's a gathering in the north. The summit is the new permanent home of the National Scout Jamboree. It's the future shaped by you, today's scout. You're setting the course for the next century of scouting, and it leads to the summit. The summit will host the 2013 National Scout Jamboree, and plans for the largest youth gathering in the world couldn't be bigger. It began with a history-making $50 million donation from the Stephen D. Bechtel Jr. Foundation, the largest in scouting history, and with millions more in charitable giving since then. The 2013 Jamboree at the summit is shaping up to epic proportions. Visitors will have some amazing spaces to share with us at the inaugural Jamboree, and large parts of the summit will be scouts only during that time. Also, 2013 will be the first year to include venturing at the Jamboree. Themed subcaps will dig deep into the action sports that are at the center of the summit experience. Get ready. The 2013 Jamboree will be like nothing you've ever seen. The summit is the adventure base at the Summit Bechtel Reserve will be a chance for scouts to take on a load of outdoor challenges, all in one place. The result is friendship, leadership, and memories that will last a lifetime. The Summit is an opportunity for every scout to come away with unforgettable experiences, forged in adventure. The Summit puts everything cool about scouting in one place. This setting, this experience, this kind of scouting, it's life-changing.
So that's the exciting part of part one, talking about the summit and coming to talk to you a little bit about the CCC and who we are and what we do. Of course, the Citizens Conservation Corps is no stranger to McDowell County, and neither is this next person that's coming to talk to you about it. It gives me a great pride and opportunity to have to bring to you a hometown girl coming to talk to you about the CCC and this project called the Initiative. Is our COO, Ms. Jennifer Douglas.
Well, good evening. I don't have a PowerPoint, I don't have a video, but those of you that know me know that I'm not really that shy. And usually half the time I talk, I look over at Mr. Martin, he's going, hurry it up, pick it up, let's go. So hopefully I won't get that cue tonight, but as Marie said, I'm with the CCC, the Citizens Conservation Corps. We are originally the McDowell County CCC, and we expanded statewide in '95. And the project that I came on board with the CCC in '98 was the Courtesy Patrol Program. So the Courtesy Patrol started in '98. Our dispatch center, our headquarters for that program is still here in McDowell County, in Welch. And we also have our Twin Branch project, which is here in McDowell County, which Dorothy is the director of. And we have a few other projects that we do that are statewide. And because of these projects and the management of these projects, we're really excited to get ready, or actually we're in the process of taking on the largest project we've ever taken on to date, which is with the Boy Scouts of America, which we're really psyched about, extremely excited about. And as Dave said, it's going to take 9-county effort, community efforts across these 9 counties, but it's 40,000 scouts that are going to be coming into West Virginia in July. How many days away, Cutter? 622?
22.
So 622 days from now, we'll have 40,000 scouts coming into these 9 counties. And we're going to have 8,000 scouts per day on the ground for 5 days. That could potentially be 20 to 25 projects per day for 5 days in each of these counties. So of course we're going to have to identify and talk about what those needs are here in this county, how we work together to make that happen. And I'll talk about the championing committees. I'll push that on pause and come back to that in a minute. But in addition to Twin Branch and the Courtesy Patrol, we also operate the First Tee of West Virginia, which is a youth development program. And we've done some work in Sky Gusty at the golf course there this summer. It's a youth development program that utilizes the game of golf to teach core values to young people. We work with individuals as young as 4 all the way up to age 17. And we also have youth development programs for ages 16 to 24 that do a lot of demolition, construction, trail building, maintenance projects across the state. And we see where that's going to overlap into this Boy Scouts initiative. Because not only are we bringing 40,000 scouts coming and having those scouts in each county, we're going to be bringing tons of volunteers from across the country to come in and help with these projects as well. The CCC has crews, and there's 145 other CCCs like ours across the country that also have youth crews, ages 16 to 24. So we're going to have crews from California, New Jersey, Miami, Colorado. So that's potentially 5,000 to 7,000 more young people and volunteers that we're going to be bringing in. So we're going to have to find a place to house these volunteers. And McDowell County, Monroe County, those are probably the 2 counties that are furthest out as far as leaving the summit site and getting to all of the county. That may be where some of the scouts are in some of these faraway places, but we have these volunteers come in and work in some of the faraway places in the counties. The armory may be a place that we have to house scouts, but that'll just be another challenge and another logistic that we'll have to tackle with that project. Of course, Marie said, I'm from McDowell County, and that's exciting for me, just talking to many of you before. It brought about memories of Mr. Larkin being my elementary school principal, talking to Reba, and I was thinking of Michael when I saw you in the swim team days, and going to school with Corey, and I lived at the Odom's house there for a while with Rebecca. So as far as making a difference in this county with these projects, that's something that's really near and dear to my heart, and I look forward to working with everyone, making a big difference. And I know we have to find champions for each county, which we have either one champion per county, and then some counties have had co-champions, where there's two that are teaming up. But I know earlier Mr. Van Deventer had asked, well, what does that really mean? We won't just throw you out there and say, go deal with it, go take care of it. All these committees that we have here are committees that are in each of the 9 counties. There's a chairperson and committee members for each of those committees. CCC participates in all of these committee meetings. We work and will be alongside with that champion planning in each county. And you heard Dave refer to having a CCC team here tonight. We probably have 6 to 8 CCC staff people that are tasked to this project at some point in time or another, and at least 3 or 4 that are spending 75 to 100% of their time on those projects. So we're going to be in the counties, working with these champions, working with these committees. The champion's kind of that voice of the movement and that point person that we can go to in each county and have a go-to person. Some of the counties have asked, well, what about Lowe's, or what about some of these national foundations? They can contribute tools to the project, they can contribute funding to the project. We'll have some instances where the 9 champions come together and meet, and we look at some national foundations we go after, and we bring monies in for all 9 counties. So there'll be some work like that as well. But I know we'll have, I guess, questions about the project. Where do we go from here? The overview of the committees. We'll have a CCC staff person at each committee. So if you want to come by and learn about the committees, or if there's any questions you have about the project, feel free to ask, and I'll kind of wrap things up. I didn't get the, let's go. Did I leave anything out? Project applications, oh yes, that's the big part. Thanks, Marie. Project applications. How do you nominate a project? How do you select a project? These project applications are online. You can take them home with you. How do you submit a project? Who submits or nominates a project? Anyone can nominate a project. It could be an individual. It can be a group. We're going to be going into actually all 9 counties, into every school, and meeting with each student body for 30 minutes to give a little Boy Scout overview, and then to talk to the young people about the projects, get them involved, ask what their ideas may be, and then we're going to send a project application home with them to take to their parents, grandparents. But no project, no matter how small or how big, is off the charts or not feasible or possible. We're asking for all ideas, all projects. We have a CCC team that will come out to the project site within 2 weeks of receiving that project, to work with the individuals that have nominated that project, and to work to strengthen that project. Where the project may need funding, the project may need tools, the project may need volunteers, whatever it may be. So the project deadline is March 31st to get all projects in. But we're saying the sooner the better. We don't want to start getting all projects from 9 counties in March. We want to get those now, November, December. That way we can work to strengthen that project. By the time 31st gets here, we know what we're rolling with. And then, I forgot that too, Marie. At the beginning of next year, in early 2012, we will do a demonstration project. And we're going to do a demo project at each county. But we'll actually imitate or emulate and lead from the summit site and have the kids, come down on a bus. It may be a combination of local scouts, youth here in this community, CCC crew members, but come to that project site, whichever project selected in McDowell County, and go through all those logistics and do a trial run or a pre-project, so to speak, so we can work out kinks, iron out the bugs, so to speak. So it can be small projects, medium-sized projects, large projects. That's what does the community and the county need, and we'll work with you to make that happen.
What type of projects?
We have 5 areas: construction, demolition, green-friendly, beautification, wellness, and arts and education. I think that's 6. It could be trails, it could be welcome planners in your town, it could be refurbishing or painting of homes, water lines, sewage lines, community gardens. There could be demolition, construction of buildings, ballparks or community parks. So it could be a wide range of things. It could be indoor work at a food bank, or maybe work within certain schools or churches. It could be senior citizen homes. It doesn't just have to be public areas. It could be senior citizens, weatherization work on homes. So really, the sky's the limit. Whatever you can think up, we'll try to see if we can make it happen. The scouts are limited on some of the things they can do. No power tools. So there are some things. We're going to look at working with Habitat for Humanity, NCCC, the Army Corps of Engineers. Some of these volunteers come in with a lot of construction skills. The National Guard, which it could be the scouts are tackling one part of a project, and we've got volunteers or an expertise area doing another part of the project. Could be one-day projects, could be 5-day projects, 2-day projects. Each bus has 36 scouts. It's a bus of 36 scouts and 4 leaders. So when a bus comes in, you've got 36 scouts.
A youth staff member from the
And a youth staff member. So it could be that you've got 5 buses coming into an area, it may be 1, and you have to split them up to certain areas, but those are type of logistics we'll have to work out. It's just really difficult when you don't know what the projects are yet. So that's why we're saying the sooner the better on the knowledge of the projects, the quicker we can roll and try to figure out how best to tackle the projects and get the projects done. So, okay. So I'm going to wrap up now. Any questions? We'll be here. And thank you.
So as Jennifer said, sign-up sheets are on the table. You'll sign up for whichever project or committee that you'd like to sit on. And we've got tons of project applications over here, and you can also submit those project applications online. Go to www.cccwv.com and go to the Reaching the Summit Community Service Initiative site. All that information is on there. Mayor, I think we're finished. All right, thank you all for coming. Oh, and I would be remiss if I did not recognize our visionary and leader for the CCC, Mr. Robert Martin. Thank you, Mr. Martin. And helping us along with our public relations is, I almost call you Courtney, Allie Goodwin-Gray. Allie? Yeah. Okay, come on. Allie is from Charles Ryan and Associates.
And I apologize, it's rare that people can't hear me when I speak, but I have lost my voice. I think trick-or-treating with my 3-year-old last night, Captain America, probably contributed to this tone. Mr. Martin asked me to stand up and just tell you real quickly, we've been hired by the CCC to help with the communications outreach and effort so that we can communicate to the communities how important this opportunity is and what we can accomplish by nominating these projects. We have a short window of time since all of the applications are due by March 31st. So this meeting tonight in McDowell County is one that we've replicated in all 9 counties. We've been all over southern West Virginia hosting these public information sessions, meeting with your county commissions, meeting with people in the area so that we can engage people like you to be our ambassadors, to go back to their churches, to go back to their rotaries, to go back to their chambers, to talk about the opportunity. If you want us to come speak to your group or organization or your church, please just let us know, and we'll make that happen, because we're excited about it, and everyone you see here from the CCC, we are all ready to talk about the project and the initiative. We can bring project applications. They're available online. And you're going to be hearing from us between now and the end of March to get those applications in and get people excited and get them moving. And if there's a way that we need to be reaching out to people in McDowell County to get them excited, tell me what it is and we're going to do it. We're committed to it, and I appreciate you. I know it's been a long while and you guys are probably eager to sign up. I know you're all going to run over and sign up right there. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Hey, John.